Hello guys, welcome back. Another stream with red white based human with a tiny splash of green for the card that you're seeing on the screen. Renan 6. I really love that card. It's a 2 mana planeswalker that fixes everything, it gives you a nice angle against Ode 2, not triggering Ode, but still a very big must answer threat. It can fight Oko alongside the Hasters. And let's see. So, very risky hand here. Normally I wouldn't keep this. That's game one. I don't know what I'm playing against. I'm on the play. I need a land, of course, or another mana source here to have a shot in this game. I play the silence out and it got missteps. So this is not a great start. Probably should have mulled that hand, but sometimes you just roll the high die, or what do they say? Roll the die very high. And the Black Lotus is very welcome here. So I can either do like, well, if they can counter the Black Lotus, then we're in big trouble, of course. But they could let it resolve and counter the next one. But I think if they didn't counter the Lotus here, I mean, it's a very important turn here. At turn 2, they misstep the Deafening Silence. I'm thinking like, okay, they should have countered the Lotus. That's why I'm going for the Ren line here in my head. Get the foothills and get a plateau, and basically everything is fixed after that. I'll just play the Dauntless. Or the Bombardier. I mean, with the Saga, they don't have a Lurrus. I think I should play out the Dauntless first, because disruption first is the golden rule. That being said, I should have probably played out the Dismantle and the Hushbringer with that in mind. But I don't know if I'm going to draw any more lands, and then I will be stuck with Savannah if they waste that. I'm just, I just wanted to go for it. Like, if he doesn't have a Force of Will here, or a Force of any force, basically, the Force of Negation, and the Ren resolves, I'm in such a good shape. And it was even enough to make me like, okay, let's go to game 2, because this is not going to end well. I've seen that before. I'll just beat them in game 2, basically. A very good hand here. We have a clock and a removal, of course. I brought in the Biforces. I do like them to clear a little bit the board, Saga tokens, a Mox left and right. Maybe a Time Vault key, you never know. Very good opener as well with Silence and Callous. Obviously, you play out the Crypt here and then the Callous at 0. Because I do want to play out the Callous at 0 here. If I play out it at 1, I can't play the Deafening Silence. And if I play the Deafening Silence and then the Callous, then I have to wait like a turn. So I figured, like, let's just put it out there immediately and slow the game down from the start. And with Silence out, your creatures are also uncounterable if they play like a Mox on their turn. You can just flash Commando in anyway. So that's why you can just pass here. And the second that they play something, you'll flash in the Commando, and it's an ensured source of damage. And if needed, you can of course disenchant something. So yeah, silence is like I added. There are now 3 main deck silences with 1 Callous, so that's like 4 turn 1 plays that are highly relevant in Vintage. And I'm trying to build a deck around, not really around, but having this, and it's really hard to remove. It's an enchantment. There are cards that do that, like Boseiju and so on, and then Loran, but yeah, silence doesn't really, you don't really care when playing initiative. Though if it's turn 1, it's relevant because then they cannot accelerate into 3 drops. So it does buy you a little bit of time there. Maybe even the time that you need to establish board presence and fight for the initiative basically, or get time to get in like your Hushbringer, you know. Turn 1 silence, turn 2 Hushbringer is perfectly viable against initiative, and a very good spot to be in, honestly. Silence doesn't do that much though later on. So we are seeing here the Jewel player trying to establish some kind of like he's trying to dig for things like repeal or chain of vapor and so on, so that he can get rid of the. This is very annoying for them. Silence just breaks them in two, and a Callus also, yeah. All those Moxen, they have to be discarded or kept in hand for later use. He discards the Bola Citadel. And I have the option to here do something with Bifrost, but I figured like that's what I want. Like I want to dash in Ragavan, put it on the stack, let him counter it if he wants, and then maybe I'll do a follow-up with Bifrost. But right now there are no targets that I want to hit. This is indestructible anyway. But it's like the vault and the ring must stay in play from my point of view, so I can get rid of them. And the needle is not worth by forcing at the moment. Okay, that's another damage, and 2 cards out of his hand. Though cards are not relevant, the damage is. Yeah, he keeps replenishing his hand, but at a high cost. And 3 power is good enough in this spot. Since they have to deal with it, if they try to deal with it, I'll blow up the needle in the process, and then they have to skip the turn because of silence. So yeah, it's just there are 3 must answer cards in this on this board right now, and they're just drawing more rock pieces, more irrelevant cards, basically more the rings and whatever paradoxical outcome. And this is basically the perfect card. If he doesn't have another force here, I think it's game over. That card is just insanely like the clock increased by like 2 turns or something like that. All right, let's see what he has planned here to stop this. He didn't play a spell yet, so he's probably going to do something now. I'm not sure. Playback finished. Oh, so okay. I think he conceded here. If we do the math, let's see, 3 damage plus 2 is 5 damage. If I shoot with the Qatar Commando and the Bombardier, that's another 5 damage. Yeah, that's game over. Like 2 plus 3 is 5. He goes to 5. And then I can shoot with the Qatar Commando and the Bombardier to bring him to. And if that if that isn't enough, the Mana Vault and the Run Ring surely kill him. So Bombardier is an insane card to like not just Bombardier. Eh? There is also Leelia and Scarlet, basically doing the same things. But Bombardier is actually one of the quickest ones to basically deny them the turns that they need to find an out against your Deafening Silence. And that's what I mean with Deafening Silence being an acceleration card in a reverse manner. I really love that. Okay, so we have a very sketchy hand, but this is better than the initial first hand because now you have like the Mox Spiral that cannot be wastelanded, and I doubt that they run Wasteland anyway as playing Jewel, so I just keep this hand, and if I draw any fetch land or like a red source, I'm in business here. I just start with Callous and Silence again, and then at any time when we get a land, we can get some clock going. So yeah, there's a good plan in this hand. It just misses a land. And I'm thinking we will get a land in the next 2 turns, and we have a good opening turn. So at least one of them should survive, right? Unless they have like a forceful and a misstep. So this is highly annoying that they get to get starts like this. It's just disgusting. But they only have 2 cards in hand right now. So this is the moment where we do our thing. And I do. I just fetched, so I was like thinking maybe I can play something else, but no, I have to put down the Callous and the Silence here first. And I'll just bolt them in on the way out. But I could have done that at the end of the turn so I don't lose this land. There's always the potential of strip mine, right? I mean, he probes, which is highly irrelevant. Doesn't matter if they see my hand. For me, it's like a time walk. So they're giving me a time walk by probing. Like, it doesn't do anything, right? Another land. Okay, so yeah, I go obviously for the fast clock here. No force of will. We go out, and I will blow up this Mox immediately. Any damage that I can give them is huge with the ring in play. Let's see if they have like any bounce. So he gets rid of the first lock piece. The Callous is gone. And now, does he have something for the Silence? No. So the Callous will... Here though, there's two options. I can play the Callous at 0 and the Robber for damage. Or, and that's also very interesting, I can play the Silence. And then they would have to have like a bounce on the other Silence. Counter the one on the stack to stop both silences. But if I play a Silence and attack next turn, they cannot really get out of this lock, right? And I would have like double Silence. If they kill one of them, the other one survives. So I think the correct play here is to just play the Silence instead of the Callous. But I thought like, okay, you know, let's play out that Callous and another 2-drop to give them maybe one turn less. I'm not even sure if it matters. Like, I think next turn I can give enough damage anyway. Like, if I have put them on 8, they go to 5 with the ring. But obviously the thing here is Time Vault Key does not win them the game. And I think having 2 silences in play is better than having a Callous and a Silence in play. This extra damage from the Robber of the Rage, I don't think it matters. Though, wait, I can shoot with it. That was my thought process, right? So if I attack here, that's 4 damage plus 4 from the Bombardier if I sacrifice this. So that's 8 damage, putting him on 2 life. Yeah, that might be, that's why I went for this line. And I'm like, okay, let's just sacrifice the Robber, put them on 2, making it hard to like forceful anything else, or like he has to bounce now the 1 ring, right? Or else he just dies in the upkeep. Does he have like a bounce spell here? He does. So he POs here, and that's it, because there's Silence. So he has to go to his upkeep now. Now the first thing he has to do is get rid of this Deafening Silence. Then, if he has it, play a bunch of 1-drops. 0-drops do not work here, so all those Moxen will not work. He does have a Mana Vault, I think, right? Yeah. So that's okay, step number 1. But he's losing mana, so he can't fetch anymore. This is the last, he has it 1, and he doesn't have it. And that's very normal, because he needs resources, mana, to actually remove them, and then have the exact correct cards to basically continue with his combo plan. And you cannot do that without Moxen usually, unless you have like Mana Vault and Soul Ring, and then find like another bounce spell for the Callous, play out your Moxen, PO again. I mean, he needed a lot there, and it was just not enough. So the Bolt, the Bombardier, 2-time Bombardier, and the combination of course, these Callous and Silences, as you can see, is very powerful. Powerful enough to beat like a very powerful Jewel hand or a Ring hand. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.